Welcome to the Internal Revenue Service. To continue in English, press 1. For questions about the tax reform law, or calculating your income tax withholding, or general tax questions, including filing a return or tax rules and regulations, press 3. To repeat this menu, press 9. To return to the previous menu, press. For questions related to filing, dependents, income, and credits for Form 1040, press 1. For questions related to Schedule D, self-employment, or pensions, IRAs, press 2. For questions about the tax reform law, or calculating your income tax withholding, or related to the Affordable Care Act, press 3. All others, press 4. To repeat these options, this tax topic is no longer answered by an IRS representative. Answers to your tax law questions can be found on our website. Visit www.irs.gov and click on the Help and Resources tab.
Well, there's nothing on their website. I want to talk to a person and ask them these questions.
Please wait.
Thank you for calling the Revenue Service. My name is Mr. Daily. My ID number is 10. Transfer operator. I'm going to transfer your call.
Hey, I'm calling because I have a question about receiving a payment for work and like if and when I pay taxes on that payment. I would be accepting a payment in an IOU. So I'm wondering if I pay taxes the day that I receive the IOU or the day that the IOU is paid.
So you want to find out when to make the payment?
Yeah.
That you're supposed to be receiving?
Yeah. What? Basically.
Is this additional money? Is this additional funds you're getting, or is it funds you borrowed and you let someone borrow from you? All right, that's a tax law question.
Yeah.
Let me transfer the tax law. Tax law is definitely better to answer that.
All right. I appreciate your help. Thank you. I know it's like a confusing topic.
Please wait. This tax topic is no longer answered by an IRS representative.
Call ended. All right, so I'm not going to get an answer. I wanted to call like a lawyer or a tax accountant for this and have it on video of them answering these questions. But basically, the reason that I don't think, now talk to your tax accountant, everything before this, but I don't think Ethereum staking is taxable. A lot of people say like, oh, Ethereum staking counts as income and the same as mining does. So you pay income taxes for mining because you're doing work. You're validating transactions on the network. You're getting paid in Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, for validating these transactions. So the problem is with Ethereum, with staking, you're not receiving any of. So you're putting your validators up. You're validating all these transactions on the network, but the merge to proof of stake hasn't happened yet. So any payments that you would get for doing this work is locked up. So it's essentially an IOU. None of these funds are even created yet. Now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, all right, I'm not talking to just people involved in what I'm talking to. Now I'm talking to regular strangers that don't know anything about Ethereum. But essentially, none of the funds are created yet. So say that you are validating with Ethereum and you receive, say, like, for example, 1 Ethereum for the work you do that year for validating. Well, that Ethereum isn't accessible to you. So I think of it like an IOU. The Ethereum network owes me this Ethereum for work that I did on the network, that once Ethereum moves from proof of work to proof of stake, then I will be paid. So the way that I look at it is how does the IRS treat an IOU? So that's what I was calling the IRS for, to ask them questions about this. And from my understanding is that you don't pay taxes on the day that you get an IOU. You pay taxes on the day that you receive money. So I posted about this on Reddit today. And the reason this is important is because a lot of people, I see a lot of posts on Reddit and elsewhere saying like, oh, you have to pay taxes for validating on Ethereum. And I'm talking about solo validators, people who have the full 32F that they're putting up to validate on the network. So I see a lot of people on Reddit saying like, oh, you have to pay taxes at the end of the year on this. And I don't think that's correct, because you haven't received any money yet. And if that's a law that you have to pay taxes when you haven't received any money, that's going to make it really hard for people to, or impossible for people to pay taxes on with money that they never received yet. Say, for example, I make $200,000 validating in Ethereum. Well, how am I going to pay these taxes when I never received the money that I did work for? There was someone who left me a quote from the IRS talking about airdrops. And this IRS guidance says a taxpayer does not have receipt of cryptocurrency when the airdrop is recorded on the distributed ledger if the taxpayer is not able to exercise dominion and control over the cryptocurrency. So that's revision rule 2019-24. So basically, if you're not in possession and you don't have control over the cryptocurrency, then you don't have to pay taxes on it. This is different with mining, because with mining, you receive the mining rewards ASAP. But with Ethereum right now, during this transition period, the funds are locked up. So you don't have control over them. And this is good because it should relieve some of the pressure from validators, or like, oh, I have 200 validators and now I owe like $100,000 in taxes, but I never received this money. It's not a tax expense that you have to pay. And all right, I'm not a tax accountant. I never went to school for tax law. I'm just giving you my opinion on this. My approach to these things is I make my own arguments and do things the way that I think are correct. And I look up the laws and look up everything like that. I call the people that I need to call to ask questions when I need guidance and all that stuff. And then if the IRS wants to say, no, you're wrong, you owe taxes on this, well, then I'll be like, well, take me to court. And then I'll present my argument to the judge. They'll present their argument to the judge. I don't think it would ever go that far, because these laws aren't passed. Like, there's no law that says with IOUs, this stuff is already, there's already precedent on how the IRS treats IOUs. And that's what Ethereum staking is to me, is an IOU. So there was another person in the @Staker subreddit that was trying to compare staking to farming, and saying that, well, yeah, you can use this analogy. When a farmer plants a seed and then grows a bunch of corn, he's not taxed on the corn that he grows until he sells the corn. And he was trying to say like, oh, Ethereum validators, you can think of your Ethereum as a seed that you're planting in the Ethereum network. And but the problem that I have with that analogy is that you're turning Ether into a product and not income. So for all intents and purposes, the way that I look at it is that Ethereum that you're being paid as a miner or a validator, you're getting paid it for doing work. You're not creating a product. Even though that Ethereum doesn't exist until you get paid the block reward. This is where things get confusing. And I probably shouldn't be talking about all this in this video. Let me tell you something. It's so much easier to explain things to people when I'm talking to an actual person who can give me feedback. I can read their facial expressions and they can ask me questions and everything like that. Making videos and all this, like, I'm kind of just assuming what you guys are thinking and trying to explain for things that you probably aren't even thinking. So anyway, Ethereum, when you get paid, I wouldn't call block rewards a product that you're creating, because the initial intent of the block reward is to pay validators, to compensate miners for validating transactions on the network. So it was always, from the very beginning of Ethereum, it was always income. It was never a product that you're creating. Even though the block reward is coming from a newly created Bitcoin, newly created Ethereum, you're receiving Ethereum and Bitcoin that never existed before. I wouldn't call it a product. Maybe there is an argument there that it is a product and not income, but the entire precedent for mining since the beginning and how taxes have worked have always been that mining income and validating income is income and not a product. You pay income taxes on it. So I just think that argument saying, is this a product instead of income, isn't really the best argument, because now you're, instead of just trying to convince people how validators work, now you're convincing people how now you have to go back in time and be like, all right, well then, if Ethereum or Bitcoin, if miner and validator compensation isn't income, it's a product that they're making, and then they don't get taxed on it until the time that they sell this product. Now you have to go back in time and rework everyone's taxes who were validators and miners for the last like 10 years or whatever. The other thing that someone said is like, someone is like, well, is it better to pay taxes now or to pay taxes in the future with this IOU? Is it, if Ethereum price goes up, maybe it's better to pay taxes right now, even though you haven't been actually paid for any of the work that you did. And my point isn't really to give financial advice or anything like that. It's just to correct people's perception that you don't have to pay taxes. And that's one of the things I wanted to ask the IRS when I called them. Am I able to pay taxes in advance? Like, if I receive an IOU, am I able to pay taxes on it now? Because maybe that's not even an option. Maybe you're not allowed to pay taxes in advance. But I think you can prepay taxes and then just get reimbursed. At some point in the future if it's not correct. But the point is that my argument saying that miner or validator income is an IOU now gives people the option, because now I have the option. I can pay it when that IOU is fulfilled, when proof of stake merge happens and I get paid the Ethereum that I'm accumulating, or I have the option to pay it right now. If I do have that option, I have the option to pay it right now. With the previous line of thinking where you have to pay taxes every year on validator income, even though you're not technically in possession of any of that income, you don't have the option. So my point isn't to give people financial advice and say what's better to do or not do, paying it now or paying it in the future if you believe Ethereum price will go up in the future. I don't want to give it financial advice. And to me personally, that seems like a very risky thing to do, is to prepay taxes on Ethereum, because on the other hand, you don't know if Ethereum is going to die in 2 years or whatever and be worthless. It's just, personally to me, it's too risky to do. So that's just my thoughts on this. I don't think so. My plan going forward is not to report that's the other thing I wanted to ask the IRS. If I have to report the IOU the day that I receive it, I don't think I have to report things like that to the IRS. But yeah, my plan going forward is I'm not going to pay taxes on my validator income this year. If the IRS wants to come after me, then we can go take care of it in court and have a judge decide, because I don't think validating stuff is income at all. And I'll have a conversation with the judge about it. This is the thing, like, I was talking about this previously with BlockFi and the SEC and the Security Exchange Commission is like, oh, come talk to us. But eventually you're just talking to a brick wall, because if the IRS disagrees with me, then neither of us can come to a resolution on that. I'm not going to be able to convince them. They're not going to be able to convince me. The only person to come to a resolution of that is a judge in court, and then that's where I make my case and plead my case in court. Anything else I want to add to this video? I also don't think it's going to be on me. I don't think this scenario would happen to me. I mean, if it does, that's the path that I would take, is take it to court, because this is just a disagreement that I have with. I think the IRS is breaking the rules by, if they do force Ethereum validators to pay taxes this year on validator income, even though Ethereum validators never received any income. I think the IRS is breaking the law then, because everything that I see says that IOUs aren't paid until the day that their taxes aren't paid on IOUs. Taxes are paid the day that IOU is fulfilled. So I think the IRS would be breaking the law if they force validators to pay taxes this year. Sorry for my background, painting my house. I got a local person called me back. I'll give them a call.
Bill Tax Accountants, this is John.
Hey, John, this is Anthony Zaccozo. I'm just returning a voicemail that you left me.
Yes, sir. We got a call from you.
Yeah.
I missed while I was on the phone.
Okay. I was calling because I have, I guess, a general question regarding how taxes are paid with the IRS.
Okay.
And I guess I was wondering if you guys could answer it for me. I called the IRS about it, and they transferred me to some line that wasn't in service and said that to just go to the irs.gov website to get my question answered. But basically, the question that I have is that if I perform work for someone and they don't pay me right away, they pay me in an IOU, do I pay taxes on the day that I receive that IOU or the day that the IOU is paid?
No, you pay taxes for the date that this is to your person?
Yes, to me.
Okay.
So it'd be income.
It's not to an accrual-based business.
It would be a sole proprietorship.
Right. Okay. So cash basis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cash basis means date when you receive and have control over the money.
Okay. Yeah, that's what my thinking is. The reason that I'm asking is because I work in cryptocurrency, and I run an Ethereum validator, but I don't receive the funds. It's kind of probably too much for you to care about, but I don't receive the funds until after a network transition happens, which would happen in like a year, 2 years from now. So I was just wondering if I would have to pay taxes for the entire...
Do you receive cryptocurrency?
Yes, but I don't have control over it. All the cryptocurrency that I receive is locked up. I won't have control over it until like a network upgrade happens, and then those funds would be released.
Okay, that's the payment.
as soon as the network upgrade happens and the funds are released. That's when I owe taxes, correct?
Right.
All right, that's what I was thinking. I was trying to explain, like I had this thought this morning and put the idea out there to the cryptocurrency community. And because previously people were saying that I have to, or that taxes have to be paid that year, even though we don't have possession over taxes. And I know that the IRS put out guidelines for something called airdrops, which basically which says that you don't pay taxes until you have dominion or possession control over the money. So
right, that's your receipt date.
All right.
Cash basis.
Yep. Thank you very much for clarifying for me. You just saved me, like this year I don't have to pay as much taxes. So in the future.
Okay.
All right. Have a great day. Thank you so much for your
Have
help.
you got them complete and okay?
Have I got a complaint? Is that what you asked?
Complete your tax filing.
Oh, no, I'm not going to be doing that until in January sometime.
Oh, it's for 21.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Well, that turned out awesome because we just talked about cryptocurrency and policies and the government and all that for a long time. My battery cut out there, but yeah, now I have an accountant that I can actually talk to and understands all that stuff that I'm into and all that. So